Good morning, this is Eric Miscoll with EMSNOW. I'm here on the show floor at Apex 2020. Decided to do a little EMS talk this morning, so I roped Elliot as he tried to scurry off and convinced him to come and sit in front of the camera and talk some EMS with me. Known Elliot for many years. He's currently with Sumitronics, which is a Sumitomo company here, but you got a long history in the industry, I think over 25 years with EMS and maybe double that in electronics manufacturing. So welcome, thanks for taking some time. Kind of want to look back, look forward, right? So if we look back on the industry to begin with, on EMS, we were talking before, you kind of were characterizing it in certain ways about, how would you characterize the EMS industry as it's evolved?
Well, I think EMS has come a long way from its humble beginnings of taking over factories and trying to utilize free capacity to make money to a standalone industry. And I think it faces its challenges. It's a very low margin business with high demands. It's an industry where mistakes are extremely costly because you don't have the margins to absorb the losses, so you have to eat them. And as we look forward, I think that Lean Six Sigma manufacturing, lean manufacturing is increasingly important as to prevent mistakes, A, and B, reduce waste and reduce cost. So I think that's extremely important in the industry. It doesn't matter how small or big you are, it's going to be impactful. The Industry 4.0 initiative is another area I think that would have its importance. So far, it's been semi-successful because of software compatibility, APIs to hook things together. I think the IPC initiative of a standard is really important, that if we want to pursue that path, that we have a standard to work with. It just makes sense. In our company, go ahead. So in Sumitronics, our facility here in Tijuana, we have our own software that we wrote called SIMS, Computer Integrated Manufacturing System, that tracks everything. Tracks our material when it comes in through incoming inspection, when it goes to the floor, what it's put on, where those products are on the floor, what machines are on. Keeps a whole history of the parts, the products, the people who actually were on the floor when it was made. So we know what's going on. So from somebody who has that available, I think it's really valuable. So seeing things progress, and now that there's a standard, I think it's important. I think it's good.
So you unloaded a lot there. So
I was trying to sum it up. We only have a short time. So.
Well, I appreciate that. Let's pick on a few of them. So in the looking back and think about the OEMs you engage with, how's their adoption concerns with EMS changed over the last many years to where it is today?
Wow, that's a great question. So in my earlier years in EMS, I worked a lot with aerospace, defense, and medical. And their needs and requirements are vastly different. Now I work mainly in automotive. So very different challenges. Medical is low volume, high quality. Aerospace is very low volume, very expensive parts usually. Automotive is high volume, zero defects, low cost, and low cost. So it's really a different market, and basically I don't think it matters what segment you work in. The customers are demanding, and I think they want more than they're willing to pay for. So it's a challenge.
Let's touch on what you were talking about with Industry 4.0. Obviously, it's a big initiative. There's a lot of, well, here on the floor, right? We see it everywhere here. Making good progress, but like you said, but yet it's challenging. And, how do you rate kind of the overall effectiveness of it to date? Not necessarily what you're talking about within your own factory, but the initiative within the industry.
I haven't personally seen a lot of implementation in other facilities, and our customers don't talk about it. They don't care or understand the value it brings to the finished product and how it actually can improve quality and cost. And I think, as I said before, there was no real standard. There was a drive to make things open so you can, write APIs so you can hook your machine to somebody else's machine. I think that with IPC's effort to come out with a standard, what do we look to IPC for? Standards. So the CFX standard, I think, is going to be impactful as people adopt it.
One of the big issues challenging the industry and across the globe seems to be workforce related, getting people to work in this industry, right? And that's was talked about at one of the keynotes yesterday, and you hear it as you talk to companies of all types, right? What's your view on that? How do we do that? How do you make this attractive?
Okay, great question. I don't think that. Okay, let's go back to high school, college kids.
Mm-hmm.
You grow up and you know about firemen, policemen, and doctors and nurses and stuff, but we don't really know what kind of jobs are out there. Everything I have done in my working career happened by accident. Not that I didn't have interest. I went to school for electrical engineering and an MBA in finance. I was interested in business and electronics. Those were the things that I enjoyed. But the job that I got, I didn't know it was there when I started in the business. I learned about these things and I went after them. But I think if we go back to community colleges, high school, schools that have mentoring programs for jobs, right, that we have programs to teach them about manufacturing, to teach them about electronics manufacturing, to teach them that these are cool jobs that require special skills and special knowledge. And it's not to use the term, a blue-collar job.
Right.
It requires skill and precision. So we need a way to introduce them to this, that, hey, you're going to the community college, you're studying to be an electronics technician, say.
Right.
Yeah, but you could take that same skill and go in the EMS industry and be a real valuable person,
right,
and have a career path that you didn't know about.
It's almost like the shop of old, right? When people go in, they have lathes and learn how to do all these things. If they have just lines there that people can come in, kind of tinker with or learn about, and doing something like that, just to make it real as opposed to some just images.
Yeah, we don't have an apprenticeship program where people can come in and learn about something and make a career out of it. So I think it's incumbent on industry, maybe through IPC or other SME and SMTA, all the organizations, to go to the schools and have programs to teach them about these opportunities. Okay. Not necessarily a class, but at least, seminars.
Right. Last question as we end here. EMS moving forward, how do you see it? Positive for continual growth and success of the industry?
Yeah, I think the industry, it's a valuable industry. Companies can't be, all companies can't be vertically integrated from the ground up. Right. And companies that can bring great technology to the market need somebody to make that for them. And EMS, if you build a factory, you're paying for that factory 7/24. If you work with an EMS, you're paying for the slice of time you're using in that factory. That's why the business works. So I think there's a future for it. I think, a tough one, but I think there's a future.
It's there.
It's there.
Good. Well, thanks for taking time. Always
You're
good to
welcome.
visit with you.
Good to see you.
Appreciate you, sir. Thank you.